Good morning. Yes, it's still morning. I wasn't sure. Anyway, good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday, I think. I think today's Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. So, someone had asked or suggested that I do a video about why affirmations don't work. I've kind of talked about it in other videos, but I've never titled a video why they don't work, so I'll title this video as to why they don't work. I'm gonna say law of attraction. Affirmations affirmations have the ability to work, and also they have the inability to work. And it's really not the affirmation itself, it's us, it's the soul. It's how we're using the affirmations. Like I said in the past in many videos, things don't have any meaning until we give it meaning. Nothing has any meaning until a soul, whether it's the creator or ourselves, that give it meaning. Everything that you know, some things have meaning and some things don't. For instance, let's see, we can take someone who has never been in a city before. We can take someone from the Amazon and bring them here to the United States, and these lights that we have, these traffic lights, won't mean anything to them. They just won't mean anything to them. They don't know what it means. These signs that we see, they won't have any meaning. It exists, but it has yet to have meaning. And that's what happens with the affirmations. Is we can say the words. We can say I am love. We can say I am beautiful. We can say I am smart. We can say that I am confident. We can say that I am worthy. I am valuable. I am special. I am lovable. We can say all of these things that we want in our lives, but it doesn't mean that it will manifest. It doesn't mean that it will come to fruition. The only way that that can happen is if you attach if you attach the soul to it. The soul must be attached. And so what does that mean? That means you have to have a feeling attached to it. You have to have an emotion attached to it. There must be a desire attached to it. These are all things of the soul. Of course, the mind can say, hey, I want this. Hey, I desire this. Hey, I would like to have this. But if that feeling is not within your soul, it cannot manifest. You can say, I want to start a business, or I want to have a business. You can say that as in the mind, in terms of, because that can be an affirmation. I want to start my own business. I want to start my own business. I want to have my own business. And that is something of the mind. But if your soul is not attached to it, if your soul is not in on the game, if your soul is not in on the desire, on the goal, it's not going to happen. And the things in the universe will not allow them to come into play, meaning the things that are needed in order for that to happen won't come to you to help facilitate that manifestation. So if you're doing affirmations, there's nothing wrong with affirmations. I know in the past I said, I don't believe in affirmations, but what I meant by that is I don't believe in anything that is empty. I don't believe in empty words. That's what an affirmation is for most people. There are empty words. And empty words get you nothing. Ooh, these brakes. I just got my brakes done, so every time I step on them, I'm like jerking forward. I haven't gotten used to them yet. So everything that, they're empty words. And so when someone tells you, and I'm sure some of you have experienced this, where someone says they love you and you just know those words are empty. There's nothing behind it. There's no meaning behind it. There's no feeling behind it. And they're just empty. They're just empty words. And so you have a choice when you're presented with these empty words. I don't even know where I'm supposed to go. 101 West? Okay. 101 West? What happened? Is my video still recording? Yeah, something happened on my screen. Sorry about that. You have a choice when you're presented. I'm going west? Okay, I'll do west. GPS knows better because I don't know what the traffic is on the way, so we'll just stick with that. But you have a choice. And here's the thing with this choice of accepting empty words. You can accept the empty words, or you can rebuke them. That's the choice you have. You can say, I am loved, I am worthy, I am valuable, I am all of these different things. But if the words are empty, how can you buy into it? How can you buy into that? The thing is, if you buy into the empty words, you're going to get nothing. Because there's no value. You're going to get nothing. Meaning you're not going to get the result from the affirmation that you're speaking. This is why the powerhouse is the soul. The creative power dwells within the soul because that is God's creation. The physical body is not God's creation. And understand that the words that come out of our mouth, this is part of the physical apparatus that we have that we call the physical body. That is not the creative power. The words, the vibration that comes out of your mouth is not the creative power. Ooh, I like these brakes. Ooh, look. Cray cray. Can't be doing no mess like that. But they doing a mess like that. Anyway, is this thing recording? I hope it's recording. I can't see the screen because it's too dark. I can't have it too bright because then I'll have burn in. Okay, don't hit me. I should have. I don't know what's going on here. These cars are swooping behind me. Hello. So, like I said, the physical body is not the creative.
There's a 16-minute slowdown on I-405 south in 1,000 feet.
Jesus. I'm going to be so late to work. Anyway, the physical body is not the powerhouse. It doesn't hold the creative power. So when you speak words and you're just using the physical body, you're using your physical apparatus to speak the words, to have these vibrations come out, and you believe that's all you have to do, you will not get the result you're looking for. The vibration that must come from you is the feeling, is the emotion that it is already done. It is already being experienced. It is there for you to experience. It is already done. And this is how affirmations work. You have to feel it. You can't look in the mirror, and this is just an example, but you can't look in the mirror and tell yourself that you are pretty and that you are lovable and that you are worthy and that you are valuable if you do not believe it on a soul level. It must come. And if you listen to my last video, which is how to feel worthy, you'll understand more about what I'm talking about. Because it's the belief that you have. Remember I talked about, if you heard that video, remember I said your outgoing thought is the most important thing. That thought must have an emotion attached to it. It must have a feeling attached to it. If you're just having a thought without the feeling, without the emotion, it is null and void. It is nothing. It has no meaning. We must attach the meaning to it. Meaning we must attach the vibration of the soul to it. We must attach the feeling. We must attach the emotion to the words that we are speaking. If you have always been told that you are dumb, or that you're incapable, or that you're not capable, or that you'll never make it, or that it's too hard and you can't do it, nobody can do it, if this is what you have accepted, these were the incoming thoughts, you're going to have to not automatically, but you're going to have to change the narrative. You've accepted other people's narrative, which is why you're so jacked up. If you're jacked up and you're looking to do these affirmations in order to change your life in a more positive direction, that means you have to start having outgoing thoughts But not only outgoing thoughts, not only outgoing words, you must attach the feeling to it. You must feel as if you are worthy. You must feel as if the words that you are speaking are true. Before you know it, you won't have to do the affirmations anymore because you will already feel the feeling of being valuable and worthy and smart and capable. You understand? Look, here's the thing. Someone may have a fear of, this is real simple. Having children. Some people have no issues having babies. They can knock them out like boom, 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 boom. Knock them out. But those who have an issue with their ability to have children, they will need to say some affirmations. Meaning they will have to change their belief about their ability to have children. This is my whole point. When you already believe that you're capable of something, there's nothing in you that will prevent you from doing that because you believe you're already able to do that. But if there's any doubt or fears about achieving something, you will need to change your outgoing thought, attach an emotion and feeling of it being possible, it being doable, and you being able to achieve that, whatever it is you're trying to achieve, so that it can come to manifest, so that it can come to fruition. But as long as you continue talking words, just speaking words, nothing will change in your life. And here's the thing. You'll get your hopes up thinking, oh yes, I'm doing it. I have all my Post-its on my mirror. I have them on my refrigerator. I have them on the hallway. I have them in my car. I have them on my desk. I have them stuck on my computer. I have them everywhere. And you do it and you do it and you do it and nothing changes. You will fall deeper into the slump that you were feeling because it's not manifesting. And the only reason why it's not manifesting is because you did not put the feeling and the emotion along with the words that you were speaking. But see, it's not about the words. The words help you to understand. The words help you to align your feelings and emotions. But they're not transformative. Someone can call you an asshole, someone can call you a bitch, someone can call you whatever they want to call you. They can call you a lowlife. They can call you whatever. Those words won't have any meaning until you give them meaning. Someone can call me a drug addict, and I'm like, it won't affect me because there's nothing in me that's in alignment with that. Someone can say, oh, you're an a-hole. Well, that won't affect me because I know I'm not in alignment with that. Words have no meaning until they're given meaning. And the important thing, and I think I mentioned it in last video, it's so important to define the meaning for yourself. Never allow anybody else to define you, to define what something means, unless it is of positivity and truth and love. If someone is coming at you with truth and positivity and love, then accept that for what it is, because we know that all things loving are all things loving. All things truthful are all things truthful. From the Creator's perspective. Again, I said this in the last video, we cannot live life through humanity's perspective. We can't live life through anyone else's perspective. We have to live life through the Creator's perspective. There's something in the Bible, I don't read the Bible, so I can't tell you what verse, what chapter, what book it's in, but this is man's world. And so most people live by man's world, by man's rules, by man's understanding, by man's interpretation. And we can't do that. We have to live life through the perspective of the Creator. What does the Creator look at as loving? Well, the Creator sees you as perfect. Therefore, you must see yourself as perfect. Even though you do not see that reflected in your life. Understand this. This is very important to understand. It is so hot in here. It is so important to understand that just because you do not see perfection in your life does not mean that you're not perfect. The construction of your soul is perfect. The capability of your soul is perfect. What your soul can achieve is perfect. The fact that your soul can achieve a better state than the state that it is now is perfection. This is important to understand, but because you don't see perfection, because you're not experiencing perfection, does not mean you're not perfect. God's creation is perfect. Understand that. But what we have done with the creation makes it look imperfect, because that is what we have chosen to do. At any point, we can undo, meaning we can release all the things of imperfection and return to the state of perfection. And this is what affirmations can do. Affirmations can help you do that. But we must understand what perfection is. I gotta turn my hair on. We must understand what perfection is. If you do not understand what perfection is from the Creator's perspective, how can you achieve it? And I know some people will say, hey, you know what, I'm the New Age group, and I know that I'm light and love, and I see it from this perspective. That's fine. You're going to have, look, every single person will have to come to this realization. This is the whole process right now. This is the whole process. The process, oh, wow. I can smell my cologne when I turn my air on. It's circulating all around. It's that Prada, baby. It's that Prada. Anyway, so this is what all human beings are faced with on this planet right now. Not defining, but understanding what perfection is. You can go to a Protestant church, you can go to a Baptist church, you can go to Jehovah's Witness church, you can go to the Mormon church, you can go to an Islam church, you can go to whatever a church is out there. I don't care. Did I say Jehovah's Witness? I think I did. You can go to a New Age spiritual group. You can go to any of these spiritual places where you can get your so-called spirituality and try to figure out what the truth is. Because that's what people are trying to do. Even in non-religious situations, they're trying to find out what the truth is. What's the truth about space? What's the truth about planets? What's the truth about our existence? What's the truth about our planet and what's before us? What's the truth about how long human beings have been here? What's the truth about aliens? What's the truth? What's the truth? What's the truth? That's what people are trying to figure out, the truth. So it is a lifelong journey figuring out or trying to find out what the truth is. And we're not defining it. That's the interesting thing. We cannot define what the truth is. And that's where we go wrong. That's where humanity just runs into a brick wall because they cannot define what truth is. It is impossible for a human being to define what the truth is because the Creator has already defined what the truth is. The Creator has already defined you, your soul. The Creator has already defined the physical body. The Creator has already defined everything on the planet. Everything that we use, whether it's sand, whether it's another element, the Creator has already defined what these things are. We attempt to define what they are, but they are what they are, and they were before we even defined or discovered what they were. This is why it's so difficult for humanity to get out of the rut and the slump that it's in. This is why it's so difficult for man to create in a way that is loving. Everything that man creates, for the most part, everything that man creates in attempts, or I should say, everything that man creates in an attempt to better themselves usually ends up with the consequence. Usually ends up with the consequence. You can look at technology. Oh yeah, we can do this. We can automate this. People are losing their jobs. They can't eat. Okay, we're going to create better cell phones. And now we can do all these things with our cell phones. And we need this technology in order to make it work and make it connect. Okay, causes havoc on the body. Okay, we want to make food that doesn't take much time for the people who are on the go. Okay, processed food causes havoc on the body. Everything that we want to make GMO because we want to be able to sustain or provide food in places where it's very difficult to grow these foods. Okay, you have GMO, wreaks havoc on the body. This is what I'm talking about, people. We are in a place where we create in a way that we believe is helpful and beneficial to us, to ourselves, but it is not. And it can't be because of where we are in our soul condition as a whole. It can't. Illness, sickness, disease. Okay, people are ill. People are sick. People have disease. I can come up with this medication. I can come up with this vaccine. I can come up with this. I can come up with that. And we do it. But there's a consequence. There's always a painful consequence. And if we don't look at this as being the truth of where we are and what we're doing to ourselves and the facade or the illusion that we create, we won't be able to get out of it. But what's really important is to not see yourself as part of the group all the time. The only time it's good to see yourself as part of the group is when you recognize you're doing something unloving. When you recognize that you are part of a group who is doing something unloving, you now have the opportunity to set yourself away from that. It's like if you can envision living in the hells, for those of you who are aware of the afterlife and what happens, and you're living in the hells, you have to acknowledge the group that you are a part of. In order to be able to remove yourself from that group that you are a part of, if you want to improve yourself, and this is seen on the planet, you can be a part of a group, you can be part of a familial group, meaning your family, you can be part of a friend group, you can be part of a coworker group, but if these groups are not beneficial to your well-being or to well-being in general, to love or to what's loving, you're going to have to recognize that you're part of that group so that you can remove yourself from that group and move yourself into a better place. This is why solitude is so beneficial and important. When you're constantly living in a way that is moving along with the herd, if you will. It's so important to be able to stand by yourself and really take a look, a bird's eye view of where you are and what you're doing, so that you can discern and then decide, use your free will to remove yourself from that which is unloving, to remove yourself from that which is not beneficial, which is not conducive to well-being. I had to do this. I'm so glad I did this. It was hard in the beginning because what I thought was friends, I thought you had to maintain friendships. I thought you had to continue to stick with your family. Meaning, I thought you had to maintain family and maintain friendships despite how some of them were treating me. That's what I thought. So some of my friends and some of my family were abusive. But I thought, hey, family sticks together no matter what. You've heard that saying, blood is thicker than water. Let me tell you, blood is thicker than water. It's like quicksand. You can't get out of that shit when you try. It will hold you there. It will bond you. It will bound you. And so it's important to get out of it so that you can see that the other people are drowning too. And if you don't want to drown in degradation, if you don't want to drown in darkness, if you don't want to drown in pain, if you don't want to drown in suffering, then you have to remove yourself from that which is drowning you. But understand, if you stay, it's your choice to be drowned. It's your choice. This is our free will choice to remove ourselves, to get out of that which is suffering, to get out of that which is causing pain. Once you change this, once you love yourself enough, you can change this. And so affirmations can work. But you cannot do affirmations while holding on to the very thing that's causing you your pain. Listen people, how can you look in the mirror and say, I am loving to myself, I am love, while at the same time you're in with the group that's abusing you and you're choosing to be there? How can you say I love myself? Because people say this all the time. I love myself. I love myself. I go get my nails done. I go get my hair did. I buy myself clothes. I got 250 pairs of shoes. I love myself. I always treat myself good. You hear people say this, oh, I go get massages all the time. These are all physical things. But do you love yourself on a soul level? Sure, you can love the physical aspect of who you are, but do you love yourself on a soul level? Because it's not truly important, well, I should say, it's not only important to take care of your physical body, it is also important to take care of your spiritual being, your soul, to love yourself, to not put yourself in a position where you're going to experience pain, where you're going to experience discomfort. But understand this, if you do experience pain and you do experience discomfort, this is the universe showing you that this discomfort and pain dwells within your soul, which is why you're getting the experience. It is your law of attraction. And this is, again, another reason why affirmations don't work. Because there's contradictions within you. I say I want to be loved, but yet you don't love yourself. How can someone love you if you don't have love for yourself? How can you want a loving partner? Oh, because look, the universe will bring you a partner. Okay? The universe will bring you somebody. But the universe can only bring you that somebody that is a direct match to who you are. So yeah, you can have a boyfriend and a girlfriend. You can even get married and have some kids. But your experience with that wife or with that husband or with those children will be determined by your soul condition. Why? Because your soul condition attracts the type of partner that you will attract. And your soul condition will attract the type of child that you have. Because at conception, like I said in my last couple of videos, at conception, the soul, the brand new, fresh, amazing, beautiful, perfected soul comes in, incarnates, and then we, as already souls existing on this planet, have all this stuff that's within us, degradation and love, all of it is transferred into the soul. The new soul that you have just allowed to have a physical experience, your baby. So if you had a bad childhood, your child's going to have a bad childhood. And the only way to clean that up for the child is to clean yourself up. But if you're unwilling to do this, or you don't know how to do this, then nothing will change. You will just see your life played out in your children. That's it. That's it. That's all. That's one of the reasons why I won't have any kids, because I'm like, I got to clean this stuff up. I got to clean this up, because that's not my desire. Is to see a child. If I had a child right now, my desire would be for my child to have the best life possible. But I know, because of all the things that dwell within me, that can't happen. That cannot happen. Now, I can give the child as much love as I possibly can. And I can teach the child love, and I can teach the child truth. But if I don't clean up what's within me, I give all the degradation that I have to my child. What I can do is teach the child how to release it. And the child would have a better opportunity, a better chance at releasing those things that are within it than I did, because I wasn't taught those things as a child. As an adult, it's very difficult, because you're already set in your ways. You're already set in living life the way that you have been, that has caused you a lot of pain. It's hard to change those things. You have to be very active in your efforts to remove that which dwells within you that is dark. You have to be very active in that process. And that process is not easy, because we have to feel the pain that we have chosen to ignore the entire time. And it's not just we have chosen, we have been taught to ignore it. That's why it's so difficult, because we have been taught to ignore it. You feel bad? Go grab a drink. You feel bad? Eat some chocolate cake. You feel bad? Hang out with your friends. You feel bad? Go dancing. You feel bad? Go treat yourself. You feel bad? Buy yourself some shoes. You feel bad? Buy yourself a bag. You feel bad? Talk about someone else. You feel bad? Curse at someone else. You feel bad? Treat someone else unloving. This is what I'm saying. We have all been taught to ignore our pain, to do everything else but to address our pain. We're just so used to doing something to take the pain away, but never releasing the pain. Never releasing the pain. your body can be in complete chaos and complete pain, and the hospital will give you morphine or Demerol, and the pain's gone. So it seems. But the pain is still there. You're just blocking the receptors. That's it. You're blocking the receptors. I remember I was picked for jury duty, and I was picked to be on this murder trial case. And that evening that I was picked, I was jury number 9, by the way, number nine. That evening, I had to go to the hospital. I had a headache, a pain in my head that I could not figure out what the hell was going on. I could not bear it. I barely drove to the hospital. I was in so much pain. So much pain. I had a fever. I had the chills. My head felt like it was going to explode. I really thought I was going to die. That's how bad it was. I got to the hospital. They did they thought I had spinal meningitis. So they did one of those, what are those things? They just poke that big old needle in your spine. I forget what it's called. Spinal tap. So they did that and they found nothing. But anyway, as soon as they finished that, they gave me, I think, Demerol. Oh my gosh. I was like, wow. Like, it was instant. All the pain was gone. The fever was gone. The chills. It was just like everything went back to normal. And I was shocked because I've never had anything like that before. I'm not one to really take medication aside from an Advil. So when that happened, I was like, whoa. I was like, this is amazing. I remember as soon as it happened, I was like, oh my gosh, it's hot in here. Because I had fever. I didn't know I had fever. I felt cold. I felt chills. Like I was freezing, but I had fever. And it was just amazing. It was amazing. But that just goes to show how we can trick ourselves into believing that the pain is gone. But my body was still in chaos. It was still in this state of fighting for itself. And look, they didn't find that. They couldn't figure out what the hell was wrong with me. They did all kinds of tests. Nothing was wrong. And the thing is, there wasn't anything I don't want to say physically wrong with me, because I was having the symptoms as if I had something, like some kind of virus or something, but nothing was there. Nothing was there. And it was emotional. And I think it had a lot to do with, because your physical body, like I said, your physical body responds to your soul, how you feel, your emotion. This is why it's so important to never allow anyone to put you in a state of fear, to put you, or I should say, never allow anyone to allow yourself to be in a position of fear or any type of negative energy. You can't let someone else put you in that position, or allow yourself to be put in that position, I should say. But there was something going on with that whole murder trial thing. I honestly, because I don't want to control and I don't want to be the reason for anybody's fate or anyone's negative experience, I don't see how I could come and say, oh, you're guilty or not guilty. That's not in me. And I think I had a huge fear about that, and I think there was anxiety that put my body in a state of chaos because of the anxiety that I felt from having to potentially make that kind of determination about someone else's life. I truly believe that's what it was, because there was no other reason for me to have that physical experience that I was having. I don't know how I got on all that, but I will say this. How you feel, here, I can tie it in like that. How you feel about yourself will determine your experience. So, the feeling that I was having of anxiety, of not wanting to be in a position that felt like I was being forced to be in, created a reality. And that reality was experienced through this physical havoc that my body was experiencing. Because I felt like I was being forced to do something that I didn't want to do. And I was very adamant about not wanting to play that role in anybody's life. I'm about free will I'm about allowing someone to make the choices that they make, loving or unloving, because I can't say, let's just put it this way, I didn't give another soul free will. God gave souls free will. That is not something for me to take away, and I don't want to be part of anybody's punishment. I don't know if I've talked about that before, but your law of attraction, like if you experience something painful from someone else, you can only experience that from a cooperative component. That's it. You can only experience it from a cooperative component. If someone hits you in your face, you can only be hit from a soul who is dark, who has enough darkness within them to harm another. You cannot get a negative law of attraction from a loving person, because a loving person does not want to harm anybody, doesn't want to bring harm to anybody. I didn't bring any lunch, and I forgot to put my soup. Oh, I have a salad. I'll just have that. Because I sure was going to stop and get some barbecue right now, and that says a lot about my emotional state in this moment. It sure does. I sure was going to stop at the barbecue place and eat some red meat. Better stop it, Zachary. But I have a salad at work. I'll have that. And that's because there's a lot of stuff going on in my life right now. Not like a whole lot, but there's stuff that is going on. I just have to work through it, you know. There's just physical things. Some of them obligations that I really don't want to be obligated to do. But I know I'll be okay. Because the universe already made it okay. Like I already saw the universe putting things in place before I realized that I needed those things to be in place. It was crazy. Like, you know, I just love the universe. I love the creation that the creator has created, the structure of the universe and how it works, how the saying of it is already done. It is already done. It is already done. It was already done. I didn't even know it. I didn't even know that I was going to need the very things that I saw being put in my path. I saw things coming in my path, and I was like, I don't know what this is for. And then as the days went by and the hours went by, I was like, oh, that's why that's there. And I have to thank the universe for putting it there. Like that was God's work. That was God's doing. And I have to thank myself because my soul condition allowed for that to be put in the place that it needed to be put in order for me to be okay. Hallelujah. Amen. Hello. But that doesn't mean I'm going to church. Let's make that very clear. I've thought about it recently, but I was like, nah, we're good right now. We're good right now. But anyway, that's it about affirmations, I suppose. Just if you can, you know, remember that empty words will get you just that, empty things. So, you know, you may desire something. If you just use your words, it ain't coming. And if you use your words and have a feeling within your being, like, let's say you desire something. You want to manifest a car or something. You can have a feeling of it coming to you. But understand, if you have a pre-existing feeling of a fear that is preventing that from happening, like if you're frustrated because you don't have a car, if you're frustrated because it's hard to take the bus, if you're frustrated because you're spending a lot of money on Ubers and Lyfts, if you're frustrated because of these things, you have a lot of resistance to having a car already, because your focus is on all this resistance from not having a car. So if this is your focus, again, like I said in the last video, your focus is the beginning of your manifestation. So if you focus on your problem, you focus on your hardship, there's going to be a feeling attached to it. So if you focus on how hard it is and you have a feeling of frustration because of how hard it is, this is going to be your creation. So as you're standing in front of the mirror saying, I want to manifest a car, I want to manifest a car, and you're doing this maybe in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, But throughout the day, as you're taking the Uber and you're taking the Lyft and you're taking the bus and you're walking on your feet, as you're doing these things and you have a thought that, hey, I'm walking, I'm paying a lot of money in Uber and Lyft costs, I'm having to take the bus, it's hot, it's cold, it's raining, it's whatever, I'm losing a lot of time, and you're having negative feelings about it, meaning you're having these feelings of pain, these feelings of suffering, these feelings of inadequacy, these feelings of lack. That's your focus throughout the whole day. So the fact that you're standing in the mirror saying, okay, universe, I want a new car, and you can feel yourself in that new car, just look at the amount of energy you're putting into your focus on the car versus the amount of energy and focus you're putting into the feelings of not having one. This is why it's so difficult for affirmations to work, because of all the resistance that we have that we don't even realize we're having. That's why I said we have to understand where we are. Like I said, the universe is always presenting to us where we are in the moment, real time. Your frustration is you experiencing your soul real time. Your anger is you experiencing your soul real time. Your pain is your soul experiencing itself real time. Your lack of happiness is a universe bringing to you to experience so that you know where you are at all times. This is what's happening in our entire life. Recently, I have opened myself up to accepting friends on Facebook. I have been adamant about not doing this, controlling the types of people that I allow on my Facebook. But recently, I have changed that. And so I have, I don't know what the hell happened, but I know exactly what happened. But what I mean is, in one day, in a period of 24 hours, I have gotten over 200 friend requests. Over 200, and they're just coming. And so I'm accepting, and of course I'm being a little mindful, because some of these are like these little fake profiles. You know, you can tell when these you can tell when these little sex ones, you know, you got these women with the breasts hanging all out, and then you got these guys who are like really ripped. You know, some of these are fake profiles. I don't know what they're used for, but I don't know if they're trying to get your information. I don't know what it is. If they're just trying to get subscribers, I don't know how that works. But I know I don't subscribe to those. But one lady got me. I didn't see it coming. It was an older lady. I thought, okay, you know, she was from Africa or Haiti, somewhere. I don't know where the hell she was from, but she was from somewhere else that wasn't from here. And okay, so she was an older lady, and she sent that little wave thing. It says, oh, you know, this person on Facebook is waving to you. And I didn't respond to it, you know, because there's just so many coming in. And then I heard pling, and I saw a picture. This woman, I don't even know if it's a real profile or not, but she looked like an older woman, like in her 60s, 50s or 60s or something like that. So I opened it up, and I swear it was two hands spreading her coochie lips wide open, and I was like, oh, block. I was like, you got me on that. You got me. The universe said, be careful. You're doing it. You're like clicking okay, and you know, confirm, accept. But be careful what you accept. That's what that was telling me. I was like, okay. So I started to be a little bit more, you know, cautious in terms of who I was accepting of. And but it was my law of attraction to open myself up to other people. One, because I'm in a place in my life where I don't allow other people's darkness to change where I stand energetically. I don't let that happen. So in the past, I wasn't in that place where I can accept negativity, because I would respond to it. I would react to it. I was like, oh, you're negative. A lot of New Age people would do this because they're on this path of enlightenment, so they say. And they're like, oh, I'm about love and life, and I don't want anything negative in my life. Well, I'm in a place where I can be surrounded by negativity. I can be surrounded by demons and not be affected by them because I'm not responding to them. I'm not reacting to them. Oh, this is not the one. This is not the street I wanted to get off at. But can I go straight? I think I can, but it's too late now. It's too late. I don't need, but I would like a donut right now. So actually, this is the street for the donut. The donuts that I like. So perhaps this, again, here the creator put it in my path. That is amazing. The donuts are on this street. The donuts that I like. And I thought I accidentally got off on this exit, but it looks like I didn't accidentally do anything. Because it looks like the universe knew what my desire was going to be before I desired it. Hello. Anyway, I'm just in a place right now where I can be surrounded by darkness and not be affected by darkness because I understand the darkness. See, you're only affected by darkness when you don't understand darkness. You're only affected by that which is unloving when you don't understand what the unloving thing is and when it dwells within you. Now, I'm not saying darkness does not dwell within me. I'm not saying pain doesn't dwell within me, because it does. It does, and some things will come through, and they're supposed to come through. But there's a difference between acknowledging when darkness is present and responding to it in a negative way. You have to be able to acknowledge the darkness that dwells in front of you, that is being presented to you, so that you can see what dwells within you. You're going to have a feeling. So I'm going to have a reaction to darkness. I'm going to have a reaction to the things that people would normally consider negative and dark and evil and whatever. We're all going to have a feeling about that. And that feeling is going to tell you where you stand in relation to that which you are experiencing or which you are seeing. That's the importance of it, is to be able to recognize it for what it is, where it is, and then recognize it in terms of where it dwells within you, so that you can have the power to release it and transform yourself to be a different person than you would have been if you weren't aware of it. Because people who are not aware react. They respond and react and like. You can always find a person who is completely unaware of themselves because they respond and like. When someone when someone says they are approached by an asshole or a bitch or whatever, when they're approached with that and they respond and like, they do not see themselves. They cannot see the mirror that is being presented to them. And because they don't see it as a mirror, they see that person as standing alone and by themselves, treating them in a way that they believe they are not. And that's not what's happening. What's happening is the people who are treating them badly are the mirrors, so that they can see themselves, what dwells within themselves. Because I guarantee you, when someone treats you in a bad way, you can always recall when you treated someone else the same. Always. You can always recall when someone has tried to take away your free will. You can always recall a time when you have tried to force yourself upon someone. You can always recall the time or the times when you have tried to manipulate someone to see things your way so that you can get what you want. These things are only happening to you because you've already been there. This is the mirror. This is the mirror that the universe is presenting to you so that you can see yourself and correct yourself. But that can only happen if you have a desire to correct yourself. If you have no desire to correct yourself, if you have no desire to fix yourself, if you have no clue that you are degraded and broken and dark and whatnot, then these things that are, these mirrors that are being presented to you will have no value. And this is, like I said before, if you want to have value, if you want something to have value, you have to give it value. Is every person that is presented to us a mirror? Absolutely. But you have to see value in that in order to see it as something, as the mirror that it is. In order to see it for what it is, because the Creator has already defined that that's what it is. So we have to have the same value that the Creator sees in that which is being presented to us. You dig? You understand? This is why I was able to accept all these different people who have been hitting me up left and right. This is the only reason. Do I need a donut? I don't need a donut. I desired it. I didn't have any resistance to it, which is why I was put on this path. But I do desire a donut. I want to get a donut. I wanted one yesterday, but I couldn't get one. So with donuts we go. But that's the only reason why I was able to accept so many people from different walks of life. Like, there are people who hit me up and have already asked me for money. They're from, these third world countries, and they try to play the role. That's already happened. But I cannot be victim to that because I already know that it happens. I'm already aware of the condition of a third world country. And this is interesting because when you know, I'm going to see if I can remember how to get to this donut place the way that it took me yesterday, or not yesterday, but the other day when I bought staff donuts. What was I saying? This video is longer than I anticipated. The people. Oh, this is interesting about these third world countries. I already know the energy of a third world country. The third world country's collective soul energy as a group is so dark because of the experiences that they're having. You can always tell where a country is on you can always tell the soul condition of a country as a whole by the experiences that they're having. You can always do that. Always. And if you look at the United States, we are slowly but surely turning into a third world country. Because the energy... See, the United States has been a bully for so long. It has been unloving for so long. But it's something that we have denied. We have been a bully, but we paint ourselves, or we present ourselves as... What is this? What is this? Is this it? No, that's not it. I think it's juniper. I think I make a right on juniper. Let me turn this thing down. The United States has always postured itself as being the hero, the person who looks out for others, for other people, and to stand for freedom, while at the same time suppressed other countries and suppressed its own people. And we have lived in this illusion for so long, and it's starting to catch up to us. Understand, a facade could only be held for so long. A facade can only be held up for so long. And the reason why it's limited in its lifespan is because it's not the truth. Again, we go back to, this is God's universe. God's universe is based in truth and love. And that is the only thing that will prevail at the end. Everything else is a facade and will just blow away. It will melt away. It will dissolve. It's not something that can sustain itself. Because love didn't sustain it. Only things that are loving can be sustained forever. Everything else cannot. And so as you know this, as you know these things to be truths, as you know these things to be the absolutes, the absolute truths, then you understand how to read things very easily and clearly. And there is no confusion. There is complete understanding. And with this complete understanding, you know how to live your life. You're firm in the life and the decisions that you make. And you're not easily swayed, and you're not easily knocked off your foundation, because the foundation that is created with truth and in truth will withstand all things. All things that are untrue, it will withstand those things. This is why it's so important to know truth. I am so grateful for where I am right now in this moment, because there isn't anyone who can persuade me to do something unloving, because I know what loving is. There is no one who can persuade me to do something that will harm myself, because I know what that looks like before it's even done. I know what that looks like. I know the consequence of it. I know the potential pain to be experienced by that. That's what truth and love grants you, is the ability to see something before it happens. To know, and not only just know, but to make the decision that is in harmony with love, so that you don't experience the consequential pain. Only a person who has unloving things within their soul, degradation within their soul, will fall for that. They will say, oh, well, it looks good, it looks nice, it looks like this is the way, it looks like this is the thing to do, this will grant me this right away, I can experience what I want right away. But they're short-sighted. They cannot see the long-term consequences. They cannot see the true effects of their decisions. That's why they're always in pain, constantly in pain. Why does this keep happening to me? I try to live my life right. See? They do things and they believe they're trying to do the right thing, but when in actuality they're doing the unloving thing. Look, man's definition of love is not love. And most people have man's definition of love. And it's not love. It's unloving. Man's definition of love is unloving. And the only way to correct that is to live by God's definition of love, which is loving and always will be loving and always has been loving. So, Zach, how do you do that? How can you tell what's loving and what isn't? Well, in order for that to happen, you have to have humility. You have to be able to look at your own pain. To look, because you have the answers within you. Alright, so my phone got too hot, so it shut off while I was talking. But I wasn't talking for that much longer. But where I left off was, you have to have humility. You have to be able to look at yourself and see what dwells within you if you're going to clean this up. If you're going to give yourself a fighting chance, and really it's not a fighting chance, it's a letting go chance, because you're not fighting anything, you're actually surrendering to that which you've been denying for so long. Like, that's what that means. That's what humility grants you. So I was also talking about how the universal laws are showing you each and every day that which dwells within you. Your experiences that you have are all from you. There is nothing else you are experiencing but yourself. It may seem like you're experiencing other people, but understand you are only attracting that which dwells within you. And there's many things that dwell within you, people. This is why the universal laws are so amazing to me. Because at every given moment, you have the opportunity to reach for the universal law that is in place that will help you to be a better person, to be a more loving person, to release that which dwells within you from having the experiences that you truly desire and want to have. You can always depend on the universal laws because they don't change. They never change. And that's so amazing, because you can't depend and dwell on, you cannot depend on people. This is why people are always, you're experiencing hurt, because you depend upon people. You rely upon people, but people are currently degraded in their current soul state. Their current soul condition is that in such where they can't be honest with you all the time. They can't give you what they grant you all the time. The bar is always moving with human beings. You can even in life, if you understand, like, okay, even let's say there's a federal program. There's a federal program, and if you meet this criteria, then you can get X, Y, and Z. And when that starts running out, whatever they're offering starts running out, what happens is they move the bar. Okay, this is no longer the qualification. This is a new qualification. This is a criteria that must be met in order to get X, Y, and Z. And the reason why that is, people, is because man does not have what it claims it has to offer you. It doesn't have it in abundance, in endless abundance. Only the Creator has these things to offer you in limitless abundance. This is why you always get screwed up with people. Screwed over with people and by people. Because you buy into the lie. You buy into the lie that they can offer you something that they can't offer you. I love you, baby. Oh, you're so cute. You're so handsome. You're so this. You're so good looking. You're so attractive. I want to do this for you. I can, whatever you want, I'll do for you. But they can never give you what the Creator can offer you. Because they're limited. It doesn't matter if they're a billionaire. They still can't give you everything that the Creator can give you. This is why it's so important to understand that if you rely upon the one that is absolute, you can have any and everything given to you. But if you rely upon the one who is not absolute, all the things that they promise you cannot be exactly as they promise you. It can't. It may be done in a way where they can do it momentarily, but it can never be sustained. It can never be sustained. The only way that you can have something sustained in your life is if the Creator is providing it for you. And in order for that to happen, you have to have it within your soul, so that because that is a gateway for you to get it. If your soul is not open to it, the Creator's not going to give it to you. It's not going to provide it to you. This is why it's so important to remove the things that are unloving within your soul, because that is the gate that is open. And the gate that is open is what you're going to receive. That's it. Our gates are always open to receiving something. They're never closed. We're always receiving something. Most of us receive pain because that's the gate that's open. You don't have the gate of love. You don't have the gate of prosperity. You don't have the gate of whatever it is that you desire in your mind. You may have it in your mind. It's like, okay, the mind. Stop it, Zachary. The mind will have these. Did I take the right street? The mind. Yeah, I did. The mind. It's like you have an endless amount of gates that are open to your soul, right? It's like a house. Picture your soul like a house with all these gates. And your mind puts these labels on top of the gates. Love, prosperity, wealth, acceptance, worthiness, value, attractiveness, light. Well, it doesn't matter what it is. But all these signs are above these gates. But these gates are closed. But the ones you have open are inadequacy, unworthiness, lack of value. These are the gates that are open, which is why you keep getting the things that you keep getting, because that is the only thing that's open. And so what you have to do is close those gates so that the others can open. You have to close those gates because the others can't open and won't open. Well, I can't say won't, because this is what happens. Let's say you have that gate of unworthiness open, wide open, just wide open. Let's say you have that gate open, and you don't like that gate being open because you don't like the feeling of lack. So you're using your free will to make it happen. You're making money, you're making business deals, you're doing it in a way where you're forcing it, and you're just forcing it to happen. And then something happens where it's taken away. And the reason why is because you try to sneak that in while that gate of unworthiness was still open. And the universe used this, understand, the universe used this opportunity to expose the feeling of unworthiness that dwells within your soul that keeps the gate open. So yes, the universe may have granted you the car, the $100,000 car, the $1 million home, because many people have these things. They have $3 million homes, $28 million homes. They have money in their bank account. And because they forced it, and it wasn't in alignment with it didn't match the gates that are open in their soul, the universe will take it away. And what they're left with is the feeling that matches the gates that are open to their soul. That's what they end up feeling at the end. A person who is lonely and they're trying to get a boyfriend or a girlfriend to curb that loneliness, to make that loneliness go away, oh, they're going to have a breakup and they're going to be alone again. And that loneliness is going to be so fresh, like a fresh wound, and it's going to hurt. And it's there to trigger the pain so that they can release the pain. But if they try to deny it, they're just going to be stuck with the hurt, with the pain, with the feeling of being lonely, with the feeling of being inadequate, with the feeling of being unworthy, with the feeling of having no value. Because that's how most people see themselves. They say, hey, I don't have any value because nobody wants me. That's how they feel. And so they have to have the experience to support that which dwells within the soul. All right, everybody, I'm done. This video was entirely longer than I had anticipated. I thought it was going to be like a 13-minute video, but apparently it wasn't. So anyway, that's that. You guys have a wonderful Thursday, and I'll talk to you guys later. All right, bye now.